Today marks the first day of spring. Joining me now live is senior climatologist with Environment Canada, Dave Phillips. Dave, it's good to have you. Thanks for taking the time.
Oh, Lindsay, listen, let me tell you, it's just a shock. Things shock me. If you look at the last week of winter in Toronto, the average temperature in the afternoon has been 15 degrees. Now, if you look at the first week of spring, forecasted temperatures out to 7 days, the average temperature is going to be 5 degrees. I mean, I think nature didn't get the email.
You know,
the fact that the season
I was going to
changed.
say that as well. I mean, the last day of winter yesterday felt very much spring-like, maybe even summer-like. I don't know where you are right now, but we're in Scarborough, of course, and it was snowing outside, at least when I last checked, just before 7.
Well, I could tell you, I'm looking out my window in Barrie, where I live, and there is snow on the ground. And certainly in Toronto, before the first day of spring is over, you're going to see winds that are going to see up to 70 kilometers per hour, temperatures that are probably just at the freezing mark, a wind chill of -7, and snow in the air. I mean, what gives?
Well, I mean, we usually get this around March. Like the last week, as you mentioned, very, very beautiful. I always take this with, a little bit of caution because you sometimes get that false start to spring. Is that kind of what we were in for over the last week? I mean, are things going to go a little bit back to cooler temperatures, more snow before we actually see a real kind of spring, summer temperatures begin?
Very likely, Lindsay. You know, the spring is really characteristic by the transition season. It's the mud season, it's the flood season, it's all of these things, but it is always slow to kind of arrive. And just because you have a day like yesterday, we got up to 21 degrees in Toronto. We almost broke a record. And now reality is set in. These are temperatures we see this week are certainly cooler than what we normally see. Typically at this time of the year, the afternoon highs will be about 6 degrees in Toronto at the end of March. And we're seeing temperatures that will be, a 1 degree on Sunday and maybe 5 degrees on Monday. So clearly we're in for a cold period. But we know the days are getting longer. Lindsay, about 3 minutes a day. Every day is a little longer. This is the time of the year where you actually get it increasing faster per day than any other time in the year. Now, when you look at the over the history of Toronto, and say from the first day of spring onwards, we still get on average, Lindsay, about 12 centimeters of snow, about 10% of our annual total. So I think, I always say, well, I don't shovel the snow in March or April. What nature giveth can also taketh away. But I think we really can't say that the wintry-like weathers, that's what spring is. It's where winter wants to get keep going and summer wants to get a foothold. It's that transition season where you're wearing out your body, changing clothes, and I think there's a challenge that way. So my sense is we know the days are going to get gradually warmer, and I look at the forecast, Lindsay, over the next say month or so. And it looks kind of like just a little coolish. Normal temperatures, typical. April's the cruel month, they say. And then things seem to get really going about the last half of April into May and June. We see a big warm up. But in the meantime, we're going to have to just keep that toque and layered up look a little closer in the clothes closet than we want to be. Don't rush spring. And I always think that the important thing is you don't want to go from slush to sweat, because that will always create problems for nature, for growing, and what have you. We just have to be a little patient.
A little patient. It's still March anyways. It's still March.
It is, yes.
Okay, senior climatologist with Environment Canada, Dave Phillips, joining us live. Really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us.
You're so welcome, Lindsay. Bye-bye.
Bye.